Hello, welcome everybody to the full stack web development from zero to hero. In this course, you are going to be learning the fundamental of web development, where we are going to start with the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript before we move into the frameworks such as React, Next.js, Angular, Vue.js, and some other JS framework. But I'm going to definitely discuss more on reactjs as a framework, probably move to mobile development with React Native. Yeah, we are going to be doing that. Then we move into the server side, where we are going to be dealing with the Node.js and using the middlewares and how we can secure some secret keys on the Node server. And definitely we are going to talk about the last part, which has to do with the database, and where we talk about the SQL, because there are a lot of database. So when we get there, we discuss that. We are going to be discussing about the SQL, the MongoDB, the Firebase, and probably the Superbase. So we have a lot of database, but I'm going to limit the ones I'm going to discuss to that. So at the end of this course, you will see that you are going to become a full stack web developer. Sorry. Now let's move to the next slide, where we are going to be talking about the introduction to a web development. So in web development, people often talk or heard about, a lot of people have heard about web development, but we definitely don't know what it entails. So you all need to understand what web development is. So web development involving creating, building, and maintaining a website and web applications that run online on a browser. So anytime you visit anything online, probably you use your browser to go into any website, or you visit it using any of the URLs, maybe www. probably google.com or whatsoever, maybe Facebook, TikTok, and so on. So anything you use URL to visit using a browser is definitely a website. So let's just understand it like that. So as a layman, now it may however also include web design. Yeah, it includes web design. So when we say web design, this is just the front end part, whereby it is physical to everybody to see. The web programming, which is the code behind the scene, and a database management. Yeah, definitely there is a place we definitely want to study users data or clients data, whoever is visiting our website. So this is what we mean by the database management. You can see all these three sides are the most essential parts of what we call full stack web development. So you must be good in all these three sides before you are being called a full stack web developer. Now moving on, we've talked about the web development. Now let's talk about who is a web developer. So a web developer is that person, that maintain websites and apps, ensuring that the design and flows are both beautiful and functional. So in case you want to know the function of a web developer, so it's somebody in charge of building a website, the design, the flow, both beautiful and functional. That is how it's working. The working of a website working for a website to work perfectly, you definitely need a web developer to do that job for you. So people that are building website who we call the web developers, and can work for business. So for example, they can decide, oh, I want to own my business, or work on my own, or work for any organization. So people can surely employ them. They can be employed, or definitely they can be employed, or or start something on their own, probably a problem solving skills, using their own skills to build something for the society. Yeah, so that is who a developer is. Now moving on, we have the fields, because when we talk about the web development, it's definitely scale up to different things. We have three sides, which are the three tiers of a web developer. So when you are a web developer, you can be of these three, you can fall into these three categories. You can either be a front end. So when we say a front end developer, You are just that person who knows or who is so good in building the website front page, probably what is feasible to the people, the front end using the HTML, the CSS, JavaScript, and some other JavaScript framework like React, Next.js, Angular, and Vue.js. So you can definitely do that. So you are the front end developer is somebody in charge of that. What's it called? Making the website beautiful. Yeah. And we have the back end side. So the back end side, what's it called? Is that particular person that is in charge of the functionality of the website, how you save the user's data, how you get the user's data, how you give response to anything that is going to happen on the website. So the back-end developer is there to take care of everything, and whenever you want to log in, whenever you want to make a registration, whenever you want to perform any operation which is going to demand you to get a response in a website, then definitely that is the work of a back-end developer. Is in charge of that. It's the security part and the logical part of the website. Yeah. And when you are a full stack, which is the third part, definitely you are good in both front end and back end. You can work for the two. You can do both the front end and the back end, and there's no problem in being that. You can decide to be one of it. You can decide to be back end developer. You can decide to be a full stack developer. There's no one you can be. You can be any of this. And now let's move on. Now let's set up our enough of I really love moving to code, writing codes, doing the practical aspect. I'm not the type that is really good in giving explanation and so on, but let me tell you, let's set up our environment. We all what's it called? We need to set up our environment, and to set up our environment, we definitely need some tools. It's just like somebody going to school. You definitely need to go with your pen and biro, or your pen and book, sorry. And now, yeah, we are going to make use of a browser. You don't need any internet connection. Don't worry, everything is going to be taken care of. You don't need internet. You don't need to connect to internet. All you need is to get all these things ready. Maybe probably internet to download the browser, and which I'm very sure you have on your system. But you need a code editor. A code editor is the one where we are going to be writing all our codes, HTML codes, CSS codes, and JavaScript codes. Anything you want to do, we are going to be writing it inside this code editor. Now let me talk about the browser. We have a lot of browsers, but I'm going to be using Chrome. We have the Edge, we have Safari, we have some other ones, but I'm going to be working with this Chrome. Chrome is widely used by developers. I don't know, but I also love it too. Now the code editor we are going to be using is what we call the VS Code. We are going to be making use of the VS Code. There are more code editor, and they are also called IDE. Which is the right name which is given to it. The IDE is the right name given to it, which is what we call the integrated development environment. That is the name, integrated development environment. So we have a lot of it, but VS Code stand out to be the most popular. We have the VS Code. We have the what's it called? We have Eclipse. We have NetBeans. There are a lot of them, but when you are using Eclipse, most people use it in writing Java. When you are using NetBeans, NetBeans is also used writing Java code. I never use it for any other thing before except for Java, but I don't know whether you can write some other code. We have code blocks, which it is best used for C and C++ code, and we have a lot of other ones like that. Also, we have PyCharm. A lot of people use it to write Python code. And you can see from PyCharm, and I think it's even developed by JetBrains. JetBrains has a lot of code editors. And now we are going to be making use of this VS Code. So you will see the reason why VS Code stand out. So whatever language you want to write, just download the extension into VS Code, and it's going to work perfectly well for you. Now let's move on again. The outcome of the course, what you are going to be learning at the end of this course or at the end of this program, you are going to be learning how to develop front-end website architecture. So whenever you feel like at the end of this course, you are going to have the fundamental knowledge on how you can develop a website, a responsive website, design user interface on web pages. You are going to be good in designing user interface, which is also a front end, develop back end and website applications. You are going to be able to create servers, databases for functionality. I think I made mention of that during the beginning of the program. So you are going to be learning how we can work with node.js, how you can connect your node.js with other database like SQL, MongoDB, Firebase, and Supabase in case you want to work from the server side. And you are going to be learning some other frameworks like React. You are going to be learning nextjs. You are going to be learning Vue and some other plugins or some other frameworks. Now you are going to be learning how to develop adaptive content for multiple devices. For example, responsiveness of a website. So that is what makes you one of the best developers. So cell phones, tablet, how you can design for those things. Ensure cross-platform optimization for mobile. Yeah, how you can do SEO and the rest and everything. So you are going to be learning how to do that. Ensure responsiveness of application. Yeah, you are going to be making use of that. You need that as a web developer, because you can't build a website for somebody without being responsive to mobile. And you definitely know, or we all know, that most people use their mobile phone in visiting all of those or most of those websites out there. We have the work alongside graphics designers for web design features. Yeah, you need learn how you can work alongside graphics designers, probably the UI UX developers or designers, whereby you can implement their own design, because UI UX developer use a drag and drop to make a design, which is so stressful. It's not that easy, but writing the code is even much more harder than just doing the drag and drop. So you are going to learn how you can definitely transform their own design into code. Now we'll manage a product from concept to finished product. Yeah, and design and develop application programming interface. Yeah, you are going to be learning how you can integrate API. So how you can create your own API, probably sell your own API, and so on. Meet both technical and consumer need for a web development. Yeah, at the end of the course, you are going to be learning that. Learn to research new method of development in web application and programming languages. Prepare mockups and storyboards for a web development project. Consult with clients to develop and document website requirements. Demonstrate communication skills, service management skills, and presentation skills. Complete job preparation tasks, including writing resumes and cover letters, conducting jobs interview, and developing an e-portfolio. Yeah, one of the very first thing you are going to be doing is building your own portfolio at the end of the course, and I'm very sure you are going to like that. Follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you at the beginning of the course. What are you waiting for? Let's get started.